All right, guys, we're back with your favorite contestants, Kelly and Maurice, and we're going to watch a video. I've not seen this before. None of us have, but we know the title. And I think these officers or maybe the department are going to be in a tough position of how they exercise their discretion. Do they make an arrest or do they not? We're going to see. We're going to tell you the good, the bad, and I'm sure you are going to do the same in the comments. So let's get to it. Ready to roll?
Mm-hmm. How you doing tonight, sir? Do you have your driver license and insurance? Where you come from tonight?
I'm actually from Halls, the White Castles,
Oh, okay.
White Castle, I thought that was only in Illinois.
Nope. No.
It's a big Missouri
thing. The reason why I pulled you over
after the club.
You've been weaving quite a bit.
Well, I know, because I was eating my...
Okay, eating while driving. Okay. Well, how long has it been since your last drink?
Couple hours.
Okay.
I'm a police officer.
Okay.
Where you work at?
Hazelwood.
Hazelwood?
Is he purposefully whispering?
Hazelwood, Missouri.
Up to no good.
How long have you been out in Hazelwood?
Since 1979.
Oh, wow.
Long time.
He's whispering because he's on body cam.
I'm also the
police
police chief.
Oh no.
Hazelwood?
One of these.
All right. Chief.
See how he alters the camera now.
It's been a few hours since your last drink. You know how it is. I just got to make sure you're okay to continue. Where do you live at? Waterford Crossing? Okay. How about this, Chief? Just so I feel comfortable knowing you're not intoxicated and you're okay to go. Can you just recite the alphabet starting with letter D and ending on the letter N without singing? So D to N without singing.
D what?
Starting on the letter D and ending on the letter N without singing. So D to N without singing.
Giving you a gift.
E-G-H-I-J-K-L-M-E-Q-R-S. What do I get stop?
When am I supposed to stop?
All right. Chief, do you have your police ID and stuff with you? Greg Hall says he's the chief.
About to call his supervisor.
Yeah, as you should,
As
right?
you should.
So, Chief, before I can let you drive, I have to confirm you're not impaired, okay?
The reason I say as you should, I mean, I don't know anything about Hazleton or even what department this is. But
Do you know anything about Hazelwood?
Hazelwood, always
I
up
don't know
to no
anything about
good.
Hazelton or Hazelwood.
Whatever. But like, you know, I don't know what happens next, but the appearance of impropriety, right? If I don't even know the same department or next door or something like that, it's probably a good idea to get other people involved so it's not you making this one sort of lone decision. What do you think about this?
So I am intimately familiar with where Hazelwood is located. You know, we've talked about me being a prior police officer. I was actually a St. Louis County police officer in Missouri for 4 years. Just from the look at this area, I can tell he's definitely in a different county, fairly close to where Hazelwood would be located. Hazelwood is located in North St. Louis County. St. Charles County is the neighboring county over. It looks like he's on I-70 West. So,
wow.
Give or take.
Yeah. At mile marker 1, 2, 3.
Very familiar with that area. Very familiar.
So you think it's the right idea to
Call the supervisor?
As a means of a method of operating, yes. As a regular patrol officer, you don't want to be the one making that decision of locking up another agency's police chief.
Or the reverse, right? Using your discretion to let somebody go. You don't want to do that.
You don't even want that on your
patrolman.
shoulders.
Yeah,
you want to bring that up to a sergeant, preferably a white shirt, which is a lieutenant, a captain, or your own chief.
Right.
Above my pay grade is what you say, right? Let
one
someone
way or
else
the
deal with
other.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Let somebody else make that call.
So we could either start with the PBT, see if it's necessary to do field sobriety, or I could have you do some field sobriety tests. Either way, I have to do something before I can let you drive, or before we figure out something else.
I know.
Figure out something else.
Right.
Yeah, like what?
Like park your car and
drive
get you an
him
Uber.
home?
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to give you a ride home.
Right. He's gonna agree to do it too.
Let me think for a minute.
Okay, no, take your time, Chief.
Let me think for a minute.
After several minutes.
Oh, okay. He agrees to the PBT.
How much longer do
I
you
thought he
have
was gonna agree to the
left
fields.
out at Hazelwood?
Pardon me?
How much longer do you have left out at Hazelwood?
We see the patience that they're exercising with
9
him and
months.
just
9 months.
being very
Ready to be
cordial
retired?
and accommodating.
Just hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
9 months away from retirement.
9 months. All right, I'm going to pause there because, like, my mind's blown here. Like, yeah. I mean, that officer had the foresight, he must know him or something, has the foresight to ask, like, how long until you're retired?
Yeah.
Because this is going to it up.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I
couldn't-
mean?
Couldn't
You're going to retire
lose-
tomorrow.
Yeah. Couldn't you
Yeah.
lose your pension?
I think,
Yeah.
right? I mean, depends on union, what their
Yeah,
policies
it
are. but-
depends. Ideally, a police chief, they're going to force him to retire and go off into the sunset.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
if they forced him to retire, then he wouldn't lose his pension.
Right, they
Because
won't.
that would be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That would almost be a gift, right?
Right.
And a pretty blue bow.
Especially if it's vested.
Yeah.
His pension.
I can only imagine how much things have changed since you started in law enforcement and seeing the way it's gone.
It's like back in the day, you would have just
Alright.
given a
So
ride.
we'll do this and go from there, okay? So deep breath for me, Chief. I'm going to hold it. Just blow hard
It's
until
not
that.
sir, it's always
blow,
chief.
keep
He's
going,
addressing
keep
him by
going,
his
keep going,
title.
keep
Like,
going. Oh, hang on a second.
Timed
Try
out.
that
He's
one
rolling
more
out the
time.
red carpet
We're
for
almost
him.
there.
He's not going to change the tube.
Deep breath for me. Blow hard until I tell you stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, I will get it this time. All right, deep breath in, and then just blow hard until I tell you stop. All right.
What's your guess?
You're not showing it on camera, though.
At all.
All right.
Very deliberate.
Probably when camera's right here, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at it, so you look at it like this.
In every other
Yeah.
case, they say, do you know what the legal limit is? And, the state of Illinois,
Yeah.
0.08, well, you're a 0.16. And
Yes.
they say it purposefully on camera.
Yeah, just
And
like look
show
at the
it.
difference, like his body positioning and what the camera can pick up versus if this was a regular like citizen.
Totally.
Yeah.
You mentioned didn't change the tube. Let's talk about that. It looked like you had to have him blow 3 separate times.
Yeah.
Why is that an issue, or why'd you mention it?
So, yeah, that's the portable breath test. The yellow part that he's holding, obviously, that's something that's like the machine that's used over and
Yes.
over again in every one of these. But since somebody's lips are on it, you're supposed to change that tube. Like whenever we watch DUI videos, we see the police take it out of the plastic. They do it deliberately on the body worn camera, stick the one part in while still holding the plastic on the other part. And then have them blow into it. If they don't blow properly, you're supposed to replace that tube because there could be alcohol that's in their mouth
Right.
that's getting onto that tube that could affect the reading negatively against the suspect.
Right, the accuracy of the reading,
Exactly.
which
And
typically is higher,
Yeah.
not lower. Right?
And have you been seeing a lot where the officers are asking the suspect to take the tube out of the PBT? And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the world's foremost expert on breathalyzers, but there's a cell on there that catches the air, the breath, right, and it measures the alcohol contents. It's not crazy to think that if you blow repeatedly back to back to back, that cell accumulates more. Or if you're using a tube that already has saliva and everything in it, and you're pushing that through again, it's not unreasonable to think that cell accumulates more. Now, there is a reset period. Some devices are good in longer periods of time and, probably get reset more than that. This handheld device is not really that accurate in the first place.
Right.
And you saw that reset period was a couple seconds, 5-10 seconds before it beeped. This is just the portable breath test. It's typically not admissible in court, but there's at least an argument that whatever this unknown BAC is, it's artificially high.
Yeah.
It's an argument. Not a great one, but
I
it's an
agree.
argument.
I agree.
Talk to me for a minute. And again, I don't know how they do it in Missouri. You probably do. But how come he gave him the PBT right up front while he's still sitting in the car? Most of the time, at least what we see, is they're going to run him through the field sobriety tests and then the PBT at the end.
2 words. Professional courtesy.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people who watch these videos comment like, why do you guys do all that circus dancing, right? The field sobriety test. Why not just give them the breathalyzer and see what the result is and then make your decision from there? Makes a lot of sense. That is actually what they did in this case.
Well, we argue that one of the reasons why they do why the officers want suspects to do the field sobriety test is to gain a bunch of evidence to use against them. That's 10 or 15 more minutes. They're out of the car, they're talking, their ability to listen to instructions, their balance, their demeanor, all that kind of stuff. And it seems to us, as we sit here right now, this officer doesn't want that evidence against this.
Correct.
Yeah, chief.
Very correct.
Do you have your service handgun with you in here? No? You don't carry off duty? No? No?
No, I'm the chief.
All right. Hank, I'll be right back with you. Hey, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Sorry to get you over here, but
anytime.
you made the big bucks, so
So he said it's above his
Chief
pay grade.
Hazelwood, he is hammered drunk right now.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. He's over at 2. Yeah.
Did he say 0.2?
Mm-hmm. He said
He
over
is
a 2.
hammered. He was dodging sniper fire out there. Weaving all
Dodge
over
sniper
the
fire.
place.
Is that like improper lane usage?
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I would assume so, yeah. Yeah, O'Fallon, Missouri. It's in St. Charles County.
And all the contacts so far?
Yeah. So, he lives not too far from here, up the street, off K, I think.
He's the current chief.
Yeah. So he's like 6 to 9 months or something away from retirement.
What's he said?
What's that?
What has he said?
What he said?
Yeah, has he said anything? Has he?
Said that he was coming from B-holes and went to White Castle to get some food and then was heading home. So I asked him to do the alphabet.
They're still talking about, like, how can we get out of this?
Right.
Yeah,
The era of the body cam. This is because of body cams. Like, literally, this would not have gone on this long had it not been for the body cams.
Totally, right, exactly. I mean, back in the day, prior to body cam, you'd be out of there.
Hopping a ride, yep, taking you home.
Yep.
Pick your car up in the morning.
Which, there's stories of non-police officers that back in the day. I can remember, I don't know who it was, friends' parents. Like, back in my day, they would have just, said, follow me home or whatever. We've all heard those stories, right? But, so, yeah, for an officer who they're trying to bend over backwards for, that's no question that's what would have happened
Yeah.
prior to body-worn camera.
That sorry, he just completely butchered the alphabet. So I got through all that, and then
You got field sobriety?
I haven't done field sobriety yet. Just observations. He's
Yeah, this is a tough day and age, man, They insist on all these electronic things and technology.
All these electronic things.
Oh, wow. Here we
Oh,
go.
come on.
It's also, it's such a tough day and age. They're definitely talking about the body-worn camera just like we were, but it's also not so tough of a day and age to get a ride. You know what I mean? To get an Uber.
Right.
Or to have like White Castles delivered to your house.
Yes, it's a great point. Yes.
Yeah.
But you have a cell phone. You can call someone for a ride. Back in the day, those things were not available. So, yeah, it cuts both ways.
His eyes only. You would just stare up the
See,
tip of
now
my
this
finger right
is
here,
kind of
okay?
a circus. Like, we already know his blood alcohol content. What's the point of this? Oh, he can't even follow his finger.
You realize the position you're putting us in, right?
I understand. I've been... I'm not doing anything I'm sorry.
Just right foot in front of your left foot, heel to toe on that line. Keep your hands at your sides, okay?
He can't even get into the starting position. This is
Yeah.
so dumb.
I gotta tell you.
I gotta tell you something.
What's that?
I got bad ankles.
Bad ankles. How old are you, sir?
66.
66.
I'm-
So right foot in front of your left foot.
It's not bad.
Hang on
Oh,
one
oh,
second,
oh.
Sir Chief. I'm
get
just
the hard
gonna have
part
you
out of the
stand
way.
like
Give him an
this, or if you're not
You
able
can't,
to,
you
just
can't.
stand like that. Let me just go ahead and explain and demonstrate this test for you, okay, sir?
Why?
Say that again.
So I'm just gonna have you stand over there on
He
the
can't
line. I'm
hear.
just gonna explain and
He
demonstrate
can't
this
even
test
stand up
for you,
straight. He's
okay?
still falling back.
So from your stance, you're gonna take it to your 9 heel-toe steps on that yellow line. Okay.
Which one? There's
When
two
you get
of
to your
them.
9th step, you're gonna leave your lead
He's
foot
like, am I
line. Take
seeing
it to
double
your
or are
12
there
step.
two?
Right.
One is here.
I just need you to remember. Hang on one second for me, sir. Just
Starts before the instructions.
Unable to complete the test.
Seriously.
not able to do
Let's
this.
go.
You know what? Just thought with Johnny Maskins. I don't know.
Now he's throwing names
I don't know
around.
if
Yeah.
The only name you need to throw around was yours, and that's not getting you anywhere.
Right.
That's true.
Lock me up. Sure.
I don't want to. I really don't want. I also. I mean, you saw what happened in Chicago, right? With their
The
chief
chief-
police and they.
Eddie Long?
they look-
What's his name? Eddie.
Eddie Long?
No, not Long.
No.
Something like
Eddie
that.
Johnson.
I mean, you can Google it and you're gonna
Yeah.
get the better story better than I can tell it. But yeah, the chief of police was basically asleep in his patrol car, right? A few years back. Cops come up to him, talk to him, say it's like, oh, medical thing, and didn't they just give him a ride home or let him leave? Of course, this is Chicago. All the word got out. News agencies did their thing, and they got a hold of that video. And yeah, he wasn't. There was no medical issue. He was drunk. He was at that series, the
He
bar.
was at a super popular bar called Series, like right in the loop that's connected to like the Chicago Stock Exchange.
It's a well-known place that he was
Yeah.
at.
And affordable.
You can't leave there sober. Like it's
No,
impossible.
A
impossible.
lot of people, saw him there, and so so he got,
Yeah.
then I think he resigned or whatever happened after that. But that's got to be what he's referencing here, which makes sense.
Word travels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, sir. Like this is a really bad position you're putting me in.
Oh my God, they did call him.
Mm-hmm.
John Nesby, Chief Nesby,
He's on his way up here.
he's on his
Alright.
way. And we did our job.
Bad.
Yeah. I'm fine. Like I said.
I mean,
It's all being on camera.
No, hey,
Chicago. I'm sure you remember when that whole superintendent.
Listen, I'm not making,
Yeah.
this is not,
they're all just trying to pass it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave and I'm still recording, I gave courtesy to my supervisor.
Absolutely.
To let him know.
He said, I gave a courtesy to my supervisor. Like
the
that
issue.
professional courtesy extends far.
And, because, things like this are cause
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
problems.
Absolutely.
So,
It sounds like the
I
sergeant
wanted him to be
talking.
aware of what our decision
Very
was.
coded
and
language.
give
Think
him
about
the
that like in every
opportunity.
police report you read. They're very artful in how they talk and communicate information.
Yeah.
If it's like your run-of-the-mill suspect, everything's like making a mountain out of a molehill, But now with this, they're trying to make everything
Downplay,
like
yeah.
way lesser.
And maybe not everyone realizes this, but like towns that are adjacent to each other, those police chiefs absolutely know each other. They have meetings once a week to talk about, crime in the area, suspects they're all looking
Right.
for, stuff like that. They have my next door neighbor is a police chief, and yeah, they meet a lot. So these two guys definitely know each other.
Definitely.
To make a different one or contact the chief of police. And he contacted the chief of police and he lives down the street and he'll be here shortly.
All right, perfect.
I will back you 100% in any decision you make on that.
I appreciate it.
The sergeant saying that to the patrolman,
Yeah.
like that's
I don't want to lock up a chief or
No,
another
he's
officer.
hammered though. I
He's
mean,
hammered and he doesn't have VGN. This is a common thing for him.
Oh, really? Well, unfortunately, here's what happens. It'll probably kill him eventually. Because
so let's give him a break then.
he does this regularly, his body's gonna really get him. He's obviously got an issue. When we're done here, I'm going back on patrol.
What are you saying? Going back home?
I'm going back on patrol.
And I
Pretty much saying it's above me. Like, you got
Yeah.
the captain here and the chief is coming. Like, his conscience is clear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're kind of mentally reconciling it in their mind. It's like, you mother.
Look, he's in his jeans and like a white tee. Oh, they're hugging. Wow.
They know each other.
Do not have him. Oh, okay.
Nathan, if I take him home, or are you gonna have any issues?
Not at all. Not at all, Chief. I'm sorry to get you out here. I just
No, that's
Wanna make
okay.
sure-
That's okay, because you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I
Nope.
will take him home. I have known him for a lot of years.
yeah, no, understandable, and again, sorry to wake you up, Chief.
Nope,
Wow.
that's okay.
Sorry to wake
Me
you
and I are
up.
gonna have a long talk on the way home.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Maybe have that talk when he's sober. Next
Right,
morning.
right.
Sorry, sir.
I'll take it. Nope. You did your job.
You are absolved.
I didn't realize that was going to happen. I thought for sure he was getting arrested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, just because it's all on video and we're watching it. I don't know.
I thought when the chief got called that he was going to let him go.
Really? Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Hmm.
I mean, the only thing that makes, I mean, that's the wrong call by the chief, right? Like, you got to make the tough call and you got to do it. I get it. They've known each other for years. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that makes that worse is, is if he blames the, the patrolman or something. Like, why'd you do this? Why did you let it get this far? You know what I mean? He didn't do that.
If he wouldn't blame him, he would keep this quiet.
Yeah.
That promotion that you wanted, got it.
Yeah.
I think that, I understand the awkward position that they're in. I mean, obviously, we're not condoning drinking and driving no matter who it is. But the fact that they had, ironclad evidence against him, I think is why this, is such the wrong decision. Like I said, if they had walked up and, oh, okay, you got some White Castles, and then, walked away and called the sergeant and the chief came on and, we didn't have the balance and the slurred speech and the .2 blood alcohol content and all that kind of stuff, and you gave him a ride, would
Yeah,
this
but-
video ever have gotten out?
Probably. The only reason they wouldn't have that is if they didn't investigate that, if they didn't pursue that.
That's what I'm saying.
And they had to.
Yeah. But if that was going to be your ultimate decision, or if you were even thinking that was a possibility, you should have been smart enough to not investigate it at the forefront, right? Don't investigate it, get 100% probable cause, and then be like, Chief, should we let this guy go?
Right, yeah.
We literally just saw play out the old school cop mindset versus what they're trying to get to now in the new era.
Yes.
From the sergeant up above to the chief, you saw, it wasn't even a question. They wouldn't even gone that far. But this guy, obviously, with the body cams, he's like, it's all on here. Because I have a body cam, I have to follow through. And the chief's like, you did your job. I'm taking him home.
Yeah.
Yep. The old school, new school. That's a
That's it. That's
great
exactly what it is.
framework
Yeah.
to talk to talk about it. You're right. And I think that's a better framework to talk about than where I'm at, which is I get the conflict, you know what I mean? It's not the right thing, but I understand where they're coming
Yeah.
from. That it's always existed, right? It's more or less let's talk about policing in general, which I think, I don't know.
Also, I think they needed to think about the future going forward from just this night, right? The fact of this video getting out, what is this going to say about the chief? What's it going to say about the police department? What about their credibility, their funding, news reports, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
I may be wrong, but I believe just from what the scuttlebutt was, both the police chiefs retired.
Really?
Both of them.
Shortly after this.
I think their city councils motivated them to retire.
Really?
Yeah.
Now they're drinking buddies.
Yeah, it's totally.
If he's dead by now.
All right, so let's see here. Who are we grading? We're going to grade, obviously, the driver. We're going to grade that patrolman. Then the O'Fallon chief that comes in. We can
Okay.
do the sergeant, too, but sergeant just kind of stood there and said, man, I don't know. I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with this.
As a sergeant should.
As
Yeah.
it should, huh? All right, then. We'll usually start with Kelly. We'll make Maurice go first this time.
I give him a B for the White Castle choice.
He's not a defender.
He's not.
He's not a defendant. You're right. Totally right.
Yeah. No, I give him a B for choosing White Castle.
Yeah.
amazingly after food, but F plus, like he was clearly hammered, clearly behind the wheel, jacked up his alphabet, took the PBT, could barely stand, whether it be to his physical condition or like the consumption of alcohol, but F plus.
Yeah. F plus.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to give him an F. I mean, we know his blood alcohol content. They said it was above a 0.2. That's egregious. I mean,
dangerous.
Yes, it's more than double the legal limit. We're assuming that the patrolman was saying he was all over the road. And then when he got pulled over, like obviously he knew how intoxicated he was. He was trying to keep his voice really low. So to know all that and then still do the PBT when you're the chief of police,
Right.
still do the fields, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it worked out for him, but that's typically not the way it would go. So the other thing is, like, you're the chief of police. Like, you could probably get a patrolman to come pick you up from the bar and give you a ride home.
Now, that may be an improper use of
But I mean,
government
come on,
resources,
like,
but it's better than drinking and driving.
There's so
maybe.
many other options. Like, you could take an Uber, you could take a cab, you could get a ride from anybody. You're the chief of police. You have the resources, you have the funds.
Yes.
Like, this was just a terrible decision.
Yeah.
And it could be born out of the fact that you think that you're, like, above the law, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the framework with which we're grading, I mean, if he were our client, he's losing the DUI. I mean, other than being the chief of police, right? Which got him out of the DUI. So, yeah, he didn't give himself much to work with other than, he clearly made the right phone a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
John
Like,
Nuski, get him out of
that
here.
was
And then
right.
John Nuski's on the way, sir. Like, how many times does that happen?
yeah, exactly. That worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, an F never should have put himself in that position.
Yeah.
All right, how about the patrolman? What do you think?
I'm going to give him a C, and this is why I'm giving him a C, because he was conflicted in which way he was going as far as like committing to this investigation. Like he continued to make observations and document those observations, yet he made sure they weren't on camera. Then he went another step further after like saying the alphabet, he gave him the PBT, but then he called his supervisor. Then he got the chief out the car to do the fields, and then he made sure that his chief was called. So I'm giving him a C right down the middle because he was really towing the line on this can go either way.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give him the same grade, a C. I mean, I can understand that as a patrolman, you don't want to be the person to either A, let this guy go, or B, to arrest him. I think he should have been smart enough to make the call to the sergeant before
Definitely.
getting the PBT,
Yeah.
before asking for the alphabet. He knew he was drinking right away. If you've been drinking a couple hours ago, all right, give me a second, call the sergeant. That's, I think, would have been a much smarter decision for him. He could have always done the DUI investigation thereafter.
Yes, I mean, right, and I get that if that's the route he chose. But we just give the other where he's like, dude's hammered. I did a DUI investigation. Call the sheriff, call my chief, call whoever you want. You guys make that call if you want. But he's clearly freaking hammered, and I've got it all on evidence. I couldn't help but gather that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want to take the discretion out of my hands, sergeant or chief, go ahead. I don't care. That's what you get paid for. But it's pretty clear and it's all documented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would have been another the other route because that is the truth, right? So yeah, I think I get those two sides. In the end, I gotta grade him even lower than that. He was not honest. And that's what you expect out of law enforcement. So I'm giving him that's what you hope to expect out of law enforcement. I'm giving him a D or an F. All right. Now, how about the O'Fallon chief who ultimately came in, gave hugs, and gave a lifeline?
Hey, you got a friend of me. I want friends like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I want friends like that.
For sure.
Give him a B for caring for his friend, but an F or like horrible leadership. That's not the example you want to set for your officers.
Yeah.
So,
On the one hand, I want to give him an A. I love the vibe. Like, he rolls up late at night in his jeans, still got his gun on his strap. He's like, hey, giving hugs. We're going to let this guy go. Makes a decision like this.
Boom,
Like,
yep,
you did your
authority.
job. Get in the car. We'll deal with this later.
Yep.
You know, very
pat on
old
the-
school.
little pat on the button.
Yeah, right.
Get back out
Yeah.
there.
did the job. I'm taking
Yeah.
him home.
Yeah, you did your job. You don't have to worry. You can sleep easy. I'm going to give this guy a long talk on the way home and all all the problems in
Yeah.
the world will be solved.
Right, right.
But no, I totally agree with Maurice. I have to give an F for terrible leadership. Obviously, the rest of the department or whoever's in charge of him agreed that that was not the right call.
Right, city council.
Yeah.
If that's what,
Yeah, and it's not fair that, because this guy's the chief, that he gets away with like egregious drinking and driving, and, all of our other clients don't get treated in the same manner. So
Right.
Yep. It's the wrong. I mean, I get why you made the call, but it's the wrong call. So, F. All right, there you have it. Officers do have discretion, but it's when it's on the line. This one, in our opinion, was way over the line, and this drunk driver should have been arrested despite his status as the local police chief. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you not agree? How did we do on this one? Please tell us.